Let's say you're in a life or death scenario and your options are run away, fight, or ring a nearby phone. Which one you picking? Don't bother answering because I already know. You would obviously start ringing the nearby phone, right? This is the core of ringing Nightmare Faulty Equipment, which was the next max mode that I wanted to beat. You're set in an abandoned warehouse with all the old Candy's animatronics. To defend yourself, you have 6 phones. Okay, so we don't have like a weapon or nothing, we just got phones? Okay. We use these phones to get the animatronics away from us because for some reason they're just obligated to answer the phones. Maybe there's someone important on the other side, I don't know. And to not get it mixed up with the original, this is Five Nights at Candy's 2, but better. So it is definitely not going to be easy. Am I going to be able to beat it? We're going to find out. So like any other max mode, my first couple runs were all over the place. I was fresh off a Thanksgiving holiday, I had not touched a mouse in like a week, and I felt like my hands were made of sticks. I low-key just sucked. What is he on? No! Okay, this is good. This is good, except I can't find Chester, and Blank's already behind me. Alright, let's hope he's not on the top one. He wasn't. What is happening? I'm restarting. I sneak in a fourth one, a little cheeky fourth one. Hear that. Forget to turn off the phone. Yes, that's all part of the plan. This was also the time when I learned about core game mechanics, such as if you leave a phone ringing for too long, the animatronics will break the phone. Which, if the animatronics were smart, they would just break the phone anyway. It's not like it's only vulnerable when it's ringing, it's just on the wall. Why don't you just break it anyway? Jeez, dude. If I'm an animatronic, I'm killing that guard first night. And then 100% on my own, totally not my friend Scott helping me, I learned about the cycle. What the hell is the cycle, Spilly? Well, I'm getting to that. Hold up. Damn. The cycle is an order we follow to make sure we can take care of everyone before they kill us. This game has literally one cycle, so as long as we follow that, we win. Kind of. There's some extra shit along the way, but I'll talk about that later. Before we get into the cycle, however, there's some key things you need to know to be able to understand the cycle. First, the 2 animatronics that are pulled by the phones, Kenny and Cindy, have to be pulled by a phone on their side of the hall. This means if they're on the left side and you ring a phone on the right side, they won't give a f***. Chester, on the other hand, is a little bitch and is scared of the phones. I mean, look at him, like he is deadly afraid of that phone. He gets the fuck out of there. Once you hear Chester banging on an event, you have to ring the phone on the cam he's on, and that will scare him away. Old Candy will appear on a random cam and he'll play a sound cue. You then have to stare at him until he goes away, and if you don't stare at him, he'll break the camera. Not the phone, the camera. Blank is there to keep you from sitting on your monitor for too long. You have to pull it down and flash him back with your little camera thingy. If you don't flash him enough, he'll get behind you and then he'll penetrate you. Wait, what? And then we have Penguin, who got the short end of the stick again, because all he does is appear on your monitor and you have to click off once to get rid of him. If you don't click off, he'll crash your monitor, which is good, but he's really easy to take care of, so he's like never a problem. And finally, since we're playing with the extra setting faulty equipment on, we'll start with one camera broken, and anytime we use a phone, we'll have to repair it after. And now that you know all of that, we can start talking about the cycle. By far, the most important thing in this entire max mode has to be mastering this cycle. As long as you drill this one order into your head and make no mistakes during your runs, this max mode will honestly be free. You will also be following this cycle throughout the entire night with a tiny little bump at 3 AM, but other than that, you're just repeating the cycle over and over and over again. When you start your cycle, you're going to be flashing blank constantly until you hear Chester banging on a vent. Find Chester and ring the phone next to him. The second you're done ringing the phone, you want to drop the cam and flash blank 4 times. You cannot do more than 4 flashes. 4 is the max. You could do less than 4 flashes, but why the fuck would you do that? That's just setting yourself up for failure. Once you're done with your 4 flashes, you want to pull up the cam and make sure to stop the phone that's ringing. If you don't stop the phone that's ringing, the animatronic that got pulled is going to smash it. Once the phone is turned off, you want to start ringing a phone on the other side of the building. When ringing this phone, make sure Old Candy is not on the same camera that the phone is on. If you ring the phone next to Old Candy, your phone is going to get a haymaker. Old Candy can also sometimes spawn the second you ring the phone, which this is something that you can literally do nothing about. Oh my gosh, Old Candy! You're such a fucking asshole, bro. Then, after ringing the second phone, you want to go back and repair the first phone. Not repairing this phone is going to put you in such a shitty spot, because if Chester decides to go to that phone, what do you do then? And for some reason, Chester gets a boner anytime he sees a broken phone. Like, I don't know if it's a part of his AI or something, but he just always goes to the broken phone. So in one camera flip, you're going to stop phone 1, ring phone 2, and repair phone 1. Then you're going to pull down the cam and flash blank 3 times. If you try to get a 4th in there, you're going to have the most crisp aim of your entire life to turn off that second phone. After your 3 flashes, you're going to pull up the cam, turn off the phone, find Old Candy, and get rid of him. In the little bit of time you have until Old Candy disappears, you're going to want to repair phone 2, and then right when he disappears, drop the cam and flash blank 4 times. Later in the night, it'll change a little bit, and instead of getting rid of Old Candy immediately, you find him, drop the cam, flash blank a little bit more, and then get rid of Old Candy. It is better if you get rid of him right after turning off phone 2, but you don't always have that much time with blank, so it is what it is. This is what a perfect cycle looks like in full speed. And that is the cycle. As long as you master this order, this max mode is free. And there is absolutely nothing that fucks up your cycle at all. Yeah, I wish it was that easy. Of course it's not as easy as just repeating one thing the entire night. In any challenge, there's always going to be something or someone that just messes everything up. One thing I didn't mention earlier is that the longer the night goes on, the more Old Candy forces you to watch him. He gets so angry to the point where you have to have a staring contest with him for like 5 seconds, which totally messes up your entire cycle. However, there is some tech that I like to call the Old Candy reset. It turns out that when Old Candy breaks a camera, it actually resets his aggression back to how he was at the start of the night. Knowing this, if we just let him break a camera, we'll go back to having the easy cycles that we had at the start. The problem is, this is definitely easier said than done. Also, why does Old Candy always get the crazy mechanics and poor Penguin over there is just sucking ass in back-to-back games? Anyways, because we have faulty equipment on, one of our cams will always start broken. And if Old Candy breaks a camera on the side that already has a broken camera, we're gonna have to play a guessing game every time Chester's on that side. This means we have to make sure Old Candy breaks a camera on the opposite side of the already broken camera. The way I did this was, at the start of the night, I would make a mental note on where the broken camera was. Then when the time came, I would push Old Candy to the other side and let him break the camera and just continue as normal. The Old Candy reset and the cycle were the key to winning this max mode. All I had to do was lock in and finish it.
It's Rumble. Will he perform when he has money right in front of him? Run up on that point. Kill his cousin right in front of him.
I'm chilling.
I just had his shoulders.
Sir.
I him with a chop and then I turned him to a Huxtable.
And just like that, Ringing Nightmare Faulty Equipment was completed. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without my homie Scott, who was carrying me with all the information he was giving me, and he was giving me comms mid-run. Thank you, Scott, and I will never slander you ever again. Okay, maybe that's a lie, but honestly, in the end, I really enjoyed this max mode. Even if it wasn't nearly as hard as Blood 720, it was still fun. And even though I didn't struggle as much as probably a lot of you wanted me to, the next one, I surely will. And with that all being said, thank you all so much for watching, and that's all for me for now. I'll catch y'all later.